Hey guys, BJ here. Today we are doing a review of some more custom action figures. Today we have 5 different figures that we're going to review that range from Marvel Legends Venom symbiotes to Ghost Rider, Punisher, and Power Rangers. And so, as you can see before you, we have 3 different symbiotes: the purple, the orange and black, and the silver and gunmetal gray. And then on the right hand side, we have a custom I like to call the Undertaker, which is a combination of Ghost Rider and Punisher. And then we have what we call Zombie Power Ranger. We haven't come up with a different name for him other than that, but as you can see, he's been customized as well. So, right now we have him in a little fight scene. The 2 skull heads versus the symbiotes. And so we're going to go ahead and go through the symbiotes, and then we're going to switch sides and go to the Zombie Power Ranger and the Undertaker. Alright, so first symbiote we're going to look at. Oh, look at that. Like dominoes. Could I have planned that any better? I don't think I could have. So, anyways, here we go. This guy we're going to call Stryker. Now, as you can see, he doesn't have hands, but he has these knives on his hands instead. And so, this is a Marvel Select Diamond Select action figure that originally came as 2 different action figures. From the bottom down, well, from the bottom to the middle, you can see that the body was a Carnage body. And then from the diaphragm up, here, let's have him do some splits so you can see it better. That is a Venom. Now this head came with the recent Carnage release where he has the neck that goes whoop, and so I went ahead and I cut that head off. That's right, I cut it off. And then, don't worry, I don't have violent tendencies, just calm down. Anyways, so I cut that head off and I turned it into an action figure head. And so I just dremeled the back of it after I cut it off. This is where it was attached right there. And then drilled a hole in the bottom and attached it to the peg. And then I painted it, as you can see, and give you kind of a 360 view there, where you can see it from all angles. So, and then the arms, these shoulder sockets, if you heat the figure up, then what happens is the plastic will soften, and then you can pop that shoulder out, and you can take this apart, and this apart, and this apart. And so I took them all off, I went ahead and painted them silver, and then I added the little tentacles here from the Marvel Legends Venom that had the tentacles coming out of him, the big large one. And so, and then as you can see from the waist down, we painted him a dark metal gray. I went ahead and sanded and primered the joints, that way the articulation is still in good working order. Here, let's try this. What do you think? You want to turn your phone? You can if you want. I wouldn't blame you. So anyways, so there we go. We have Stryker here. Now, he is a symbiote. Duh. Yeah, so anyways, he's a symbiote, and his ability is his body is the consistency. Just spit it out already, right? So anyways, the consistency of a metal alloy. One of the strongest metal alloys in the universe. This isn't a divorce, this is a verse. So, anyway, in the universe. And he can manipulate it into different weapons and things like that. So like Carnage and Venom, they can manipulate their body mass matter into different weapons. The difference between Stryker is that when he does it, they're like actual hardened weapons. And if you took Wolverine's claws and tried to strike them, they would make a cut, but not a very deep one, to kind of give you a scale of how thick it is and how strong it is. So, Stryker, get lost. Now we're going to move on to this bad boy. Now, you may be wondering, what's this guy's name? Does it really matter? Yes, it does matter. His name is, drum roll please, his name is Slaughterhouse. Now, Slaughterhouse, you can see what action figure I made him out of, and if you can't, then I'll tell you. It was the MCU Marvel Legends Venom from the movie. And so, I had a couple of these guys, and I wanted to turn... essentially, I wanted a color of every symbiote, but I wanted it customized. And so, these are 3 out of 10 of my customized symbiotes, and I will be doing the others, so don't worry. You'll get to see the others. But as you can see, he's got those little horns on his head, which I just took off of a Skylanders figure and then glued them on there. And then there is also the spikes coming out of his shoulders here. Now, what I did there was I drilled a hole into the spike, I drilled a hole into the shoulder, making sure that I didn't interfere with articulation, so he can still do everything that he's supposed to. And then I glued each end and stuck them together, and then super glued it down at the base and painted it. And so, as you can see, it's seamless. You can't see any kind of seam there. And so, I could have gone same size on both sides, but I thought it'd be nice to have some variation. So there you go. Those are the shoulders. And then the rest of the body, we didn't do any fabricating. This is just how the body came. And moving on, we went ahead and did some painting. So as you can see, what we did is we did some X's on the arms, some V's on the forearms, a big Y on the chest, and a V in the crotch. That's right. I said a V in the crotch. Anyways, moving down to the legs, we got some spirals on the sides of the thighs. Sides of the thighs, say that 10 times fast. And then some spirals going the same direction on the calves, on the outside. And we also have them going the opposite direction on the inside, just to keep it interesting. I tried to keep it somewhat like a butterfly. You know, you want everything to match on both sides. But at the same time, I wanted it unique and different. Oh, and I forgot to mention, we got some O's on the shoulder blades, the deltoids. Oh, yeah. And then on the head, we got some freckle speckles. There we go, freckle speckles. Now moving to the back, we have a Y on his butt, his gluteus maximus. If you want to zoom in, you can if you want. And then another Y on his back. And I went ahead and did just these little dots, and what I did is I took my little metal tool that I use for sculpting and I just dragged the paint out. So I did a blob and then I just dragged the paint out with a little metal pick, and that's what created that effect if you want to make one of these of your own. So that is Slaughterhouse right there. Now we're going to move on to this beauty. Oh, let's get it on there right. So this guy, his name is Corruption. And why is that? Because he's corrupting. So, real quick, just because I forgot, didn't do any backstory on this guy. So, Slaughterhouse, he has, you know how Thor and Wolverine get into that mind rage, berserker rage? He's essentially like Venom, but he's constantly in a berserker rage, and his special ability is he can grow bigger and stronger and more strikes. So think of if Venom had like 1/100th of Hulk ability to gain size, that would be Slaughterhouse. So there's some backstory on Slaughterhouse. So back to Corruption. Sorry, Corruption. Didn't mean to, you know, bump you out there. But, hey, it is what it is, right? So this is Corruption. Corruption, the head is from Diamond Select Venom toy that I got, and then the hands are from Carnage. And so one thing nice about the Diamond Selects is you come with extra parts, and I like to use those extra parts rather than let them laying around. So, as you can see, he's a purple symbiote. There's not a lot down on the legs there. I'll just show them to you real quick. Not a whole heck of a lot to see. We do got the white spikes coming out of his back, which is an accessory that I really enjoy. So anyways, Corruption here, you'll notice he has a fin on his head. That I took from a Skylanders toy as well. I just cut the fin off, glued it to his head. Bingo bongo, all day longo. And then the arms, the hands, if you're wondering how I got the hands on there and how I got them to connect, what I did was I just drilled the hole to the size of the peg on the hand and insert it into the forearm. Now, the figure that I used as the base for this mold was Warpath from the X-Men. And so that was, these gauntlets came with it anyways, and so I thought it'd be nice to have those on there. And so I went ahead and plugged those on there as well. And then the spikes. These spikes here, they came from an action figure called Doomsday from DC Universe, from DC Comics, obviously. So, so I went ahead and I just sanded the back, and I sanded this part out. I dremeled out the plastic that was already there, and then I put little metal pegs in the thing here, and then I put drilled little holes into the back to plug it in and then glue it in. Now, one of the things that I really enjoy about this guy that not all my custom symbiotes have is that butterfly joint. You don't get a lot of symbiotes with a butterfly joint, and so that's one thing that I really appreciate about this guy, is you can really bring those arms in, or you can really bring those arms out. And so if you're wondering about Corruption, what's his backstory? Corruption's backstory is that he originally was one of the smallest and weakest symbiotes among the rest, and he was getting really fed up with that, and he realized that though he didn't have extreme strength or any other special ability, the one special ability he did have was he could manipulate other people's minds, even other symbiotes. And so Corruption isn't the strongest character, but one of the cool things about him is he is one of the most powerful. Because there's power in knowledge, and he can gain knowledge just about from anybody, because he has the ability to, ding, 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 you got it, corrupt them. And if you're already corrupted, then he just further corrupts you, so don't give me semantics. Anyways, so what he does is he has kind of telekinesis, telekinetic, I don't remember which one it is, power, where he gets inside other people's minds, and he can corrupt them. So that's pretty much the story of Corruption. Now we're going to move on to The Undertaker and the Zombie Power Ranger. So, let's get one of my favorites out here. This is the Zombie Power Ranger. Or, not the Zombie Power Ranger, excuse me. This is The Undertaker. And that's right, he will take you under. So, and yeah, I realize we got the name from wrestling. Who cares? It's a fantastic name. You know where they got it from? People who dug graves, because that's why they're called an Undertaker. So, anyways, he's got his little pea shooter here. Let's just calm down, buddy. Actually, let's not calm down. Let's get serious. Let's get serious on those symbiotes. Here we go. Now he's ready. He's ready to take out some symbiotes. Alright, that's enough of that. So, let's go over the accessory first. So, this is a little 6-shooter we got from a McFarlane toy. Don't ask me which McFarlane toy, because I don't remember, but it is a pretty cool little gun that we thought fit perfectly with this cowboy. And that is kind of the thing we're going for. Because in Ghost Rider the movie, you had the old Ghost Rider that was riding on a horse. I forget exactly what his name was. My editor will put it up in the screen right here. And so we got the cowboy hat. This was originally came with the X-Men Deadpool, the trainee X-Men Deadpool, because he came with that extra head that had the extra hat. And so we went ahead and just painted it black and put it on the head of Taskmaster and then slapped it on here. This body was originally, it was Nick Fury, the MCU version, and we took the heavy coat off and put a short coat on. And this coat we got from Hydra 2-pack, I believe. It was an AIM 2-pack or Hydra 2-pack. And so, anyways, that's where the body came from. And as you look at the chest here, you can see we do got a skull there. Now, this is a skull. We could have done it a lot neater and a lot cleaner, but seeing how we're going for the Old West, we really didn't want that. And this, and just so you guys know, this coat was originally yellow. And so we don't like any yellow bellies, so we got rid of that yellow. So, anyways, there we go. The hat's glued on. It's not going anywhere. This is The Undertaker. Now, you want to hear a story about The Undertaker. I understand, and I'll tell you that story. But I gotta know you really want it. You do? Okay, I'll tell it. So, The Undertaker. So, you had Punisher and you had Ghost Rider. The two of them were hunting down the same target. And while they were going after Mephisto, Mephisto went into this portal. Now, this portal was a magical demonic portal which could turn one into two or two into one. So Mephisto went to this portal to make two of himself to take on the two of them. Well, they didn't know that. So they jumped through the portal, both of them at the same time, and on the other side, out came The Undertaker. Now, The Undertaker, like Punisher, likes bullets and likes to shoot. But at the same time, he has demonic abilities. And his demonic abilities are, when he shoots his gun, it's a ghost bullet. So it's a bullet that can go through anything without breaking it if it wants. And then once it does find its target, which it always finds its target, it never misses. Once it does find that target, it penetrates that target. And when that bullet hits you, it's not like a regular bullet shot. It's flaming. It's on fire because it's Ghost Rider that we're talking about, right? And so seeing how it's a cursed flaming bullet, it penetrates you. And just like Ghost Rider has a penance stare, what this bullet does is affect you from the inside out. So while it does enter your body and put a hole in you, it also penetrates your very soul. And so if you got a wicked, nasty, corrupted soul, then what it is going to do is it's going to do major soul damage. It's going to affect your chi, your mana, whatever else you want to call it. And then it curses you to relive your greatest sins. And so, depending on your power level, you can stand up to this, or depending on how righteous you are, you can stand up to this. But let's say he shot corruption here. Corruption would be an agonizing pain. He wouldn't be able to stand the pain. It would be so bad. So, anyways, moving on. So, that is The Undertaker. I hope you enjoyed the figure, and I hope you enjoyed this story. So, now we're going to move on to Zombie Power Ranger. Now, this is, I don't remember exactly which Ranger this is from. They made so many different kinds of Power Rangers. Right here will be the name of the actual Ranger. I believe it was the Gold Ranger, but we'll tell you what set of Power Rangers it was from. So, anyways, starting at the head here, it's a skull. Duh. So, the skull is a head, and so the head came from Apocalypse. Age of Apocalypse. Damn, that's a mouthful. And so, I went ahead and painted it, and then I drilled a hole in the bottom, and then stuck it on the peg. Not very complicated. The weapon came with McFarlane Fortnite toy that I just thought was appropriate. Because in my mind, he's a magical character who can use magic powers. Now, as you can see, he's got these really cool designs. This whole thing was a yellowish gold, and let me tell you, it was an ugly yellowish gold. It was not pretty at all. And then you can also see on here that there's a lot of detail right there in that wrist. We got some good details in the belt, and then we also got some good details on the legs here. And so what we did is we went over it with some black, and then we went over it with some silver, and then we went over it with some more black. Because if you're going to do a wash and you want to get this kind of effect, then that's kind of the process you need to use. And so, let's turn this character around. Again, you can see that really fine detail in the background, or on the back. And so, when you have detail like that on a figure, always give it a wash, because it'll always look better. And then we have this really cool weapon as well. And so, like I said, we don't have a name for him yet. And if you have an idea for a name, leave us a comment and let us know. But anyways, his abilities are, so he was originally one of the Power Rangers, and he got killed in battle. And so after he got killed in battle, what happened was, he was resurrected by Lord Zed, and made a minion of Lord Zed. And if this doesn't line up exactly with what canon is, then I'm sorry, but I don't watch Power Rangers. So he was resurrected by Lord Zed. Lord Zed cursed him and gave him some of his magical powers. So then he sent he sent Zombie Ranger here to kill Zeta. And when he went to kill Zeta, she recursed him and gave him even more magical power. And so think of this guy like the combination of the fighting skills of a Power Ranger, the power of Zeta, the power of Zed, all combined. And so, how would this guy do up against the Green Ranger? He'd whoop his ass. How would he do against a White Ranger? He'd whoop his ass. The only thing that can take him down is friendship. Who? Anyways, so that is our Zombie Ranger there. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching the video. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take some really cool pictures of these guys, and we're gonna tag them on the end of this video so you can see a better size comparison. But just in case you want to see it right now, let's do that real quick. So this is these two guys. Let's get this guy standing up all the way, shall we? Straighten your legs there, boy. There we go. So that's the size comparison between those two. And then the next size up would be Corruption here. Let's back them up so you can actually see them. And then after that, the next size up would be MCU Venom, which I'm not sure if you're familiar with this figure or if you have it, but if you do, then you know you have a good idea of what his size is. So this guy here is about a little over 7. This guy here is almost 8 inches. So, and then after that, we have Stryker here. And so, as you can see, Stryker has got some height on him. Oh, gross. So, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed watching the video, and I hope you liked the customs. If you have any ideas for a cool custom symbiote, let me know and leave a message down in the comments. I will see you guys later. I hope you subscribe, and please hit that thumbs up button. I'd really appreciate it if you did. And again, please leave a comment. Love to hear what you have to say. Love to hear your thoughts. Love to hear your favorite Venom story. So if you got a cool Venom story, then be sure to let us know. Alright, and also, we love to know about any fan fiction. So if you got some cool fan fiction, hit us up. We'd love to hear about it. Alright, we'll check you later. Bye.